So if you can hear some of that noise, like right there, it's caused by the fan. It's like the flapping, so just try to ignore it, even though now that I actually talked about it, you won't be able to ignore it. You'll be like, oh, that's because the fan. It's because the outside, the flaps that actually, whatever. You get the point. What's up, guys? How are y'all doing today? Hope you're having a wonderful day, because I know some people in USA are receiving their Model Y and they are having an absolute blast getting their brand new car, and it is pretty amazing what Tesla is able to accomplish. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. 3, 2, 1, roll the intro. For starters, we actually have some new images of the Model Y, which I'll display here, starting off with the back. The back of the Model Y looks pretty much the exact same as we've actually seen before, but you can see that the rear tailgate is actually powered because there's actually a button there that you can click and it'll open or close. That means the people who actually had the problem with the actual trunk opening and closing and whatnot, this will actually fix that issue. Plus, most SUVs in this range and price range and whatnot anyways, always have a powered liftgate. Now let's look at the side profile. The side profile looks very similar to a Model 3. Pretty much exactly similar. All you really notice the difference of is actually the arch and the tailgate. That's really it. Nothing else actually gives off that it's a Model Y. In the side view, we can actually see the wheels, and I want to put your attention to the front seat. You can see the seat controls, and right below that, what do you see? Those are risers. That is what the front seats and even the back seats are actually put on. The point of risers is because the Model Y needs to be a bit higher, it needs to have a higher seating position because it's an SUV, but it uses the exact same battery and drivetrain from the Model 3, just slightly raised up, probably with suspension. What that means is because their seats are very low to the ground anyways, in a Model 3 you're basically sitting next to the ground. In a Model Y you needed to raise it because everything in the Model Y is raised, including the front dash and everything. So now let's come to the frunk. The frunk of the Model Y is so much deeper than the Model 3, like noticeably deeper. Now you can see that the Model Y, unlike many other EVs, actually has a waterproof trunk. That is very important. Most other EVs, excluding Teslas, they don't actually, if they have a frunk in the first place, it's not waterproof or water resistant or anything. Whereas with the Model Y and pretty much every other Tesla vehicle, you can see that it has a rubber lining which keeps the water out. You can see there's actually water in the picture, but it's not actually inside the trunk. What I will say is that Tesla actually missed out on some key details. For example, this doesn't actually have those hooks that the Model 3 had. Here's a picture of a Model Y, and then here's a picture of a Model 3 with those hooks. And now here's a picture of a Model Y. Notice how you actually don't see them. So I don't know if this is just because the first production variants don't actually have it, or if it's just all Model Ys will not have it for the foreseeable future. I don't know what's the case of this, so we'll just have to wait and see until people get their cars and see who actually has it or not, and if it's actually that important. So here we see the back seats of the Model Y, and they look pretty much the exact same with every picture we've ever taken. This picture is just more clear, so enjoy it while you can, and it just, yeah, to me it just looks the same. And by the way, each seat can actually fold individually. It's a 40-20-40 split rear seat. So the middle seat can actually fold individually, which means that gives you a lot more room to put longer items. For example, I don't know, wood, plywood or something, or skis. I think for SUVs, skis would be the popular choice, I guess. Now here's a picture that we already seen before. Pretty much it looks the exact same. It just shows how the seats are folded. And here you can see the biggest differentiating factor between the 3 seats. And yes, supposedly the 3 seats actually fold with the buttons at the rear. So if you look at this picture here, if I zoom into the back buttons, you can actually see those are the buttons that actually are used to fold down the rear seat. So here is a pretty generic picture of the trunk of the Model Y. You can see that if you look on the edges, you have the 2 cubbies. And another picture of the cargo area is this one. In this picture, you can really see how much storage space the Model Y has. It's a lot more than the Model 3. It's a bigger opening, you can fit a lot more stuff in it, and it's a hatch, and obviously, it's just gonna be better. Now, I'm not entirely sure how they're gonna be able to fit 7 seats in this car, but supposedly they are. So we're just gonna have to wait and see when the 7-seater configuration actually comes out, see how big they are. But chances are, like I said before, they're not really gonna be meant for tall adults or just even average size adults. They're gonna be meant for children or people under 5 feet or something along those range. This is the underfloor compartment of the Model Y. This compartment basically goes down to the base or the floor of the Model Y to the level of the battery pack, but the battery pack's not actually there as it's located between the axles and this is behind the axle. The Model 3, because it's a lower vehicle already, already. It's not as deep, whereas this, it's much more deeper, so you can fit so much more stuff. So here's a picture of a Model Y compared to a Model X. It's not actually compared, I would say. It's just look at the size comparison. Overall, I think the Model Y is pretty much going to be the same sort of size inside, but people have said that the Model Y is a bit bigger in the front than the Model X. And that goes to my first point. If you don't need a 7-seater config and you don't want to pay the extra premium for Falcon Wing doors and all the extra luxuries that the Model X has, go for a Model Y. It's probably going to be a much better car, much more reliable car, and just overall you'll just have a better experience owning a Model Y instead of owning a Model X. That's my personal opinion. Plus it charges faster. So there you go, that adds into the count too, and it's a bit more efficient, so you'll spend a bit less in electricity. Honestly, if you're spending so much on a car, you're not really going to care about a couple cents here and there for electricity because you're already saving so much with gas. And chances are most Model Y buyers come from gas, they're not actually coming from another electric vehicle. Here's a Model Y next to a Model 3. So what I've actually done is basically Photoshop them like right next to each other, and you can see a better view of how this car relates to the Model 3. You can see that the hood or the front is actually raised up a bit, the entire car looks raised up a bit. Obviously the arch line is much bigger, but overall it looks pretty much the same. So it's not that big of a car over the Model 3, but the interior space that you get will be absolutely incredible. Because of the panoramic glass roof, especially at the rear, you get so much more headroom in the front and the rear just because of that. My personal opinion for the color of a Model Y, I think I'll go with the dark colors just because it has a chrome delete, it looks much better. Whereas for the Model 3, I really like the white. I've seen the white in person on Model 3s and I just love the white color on a Model 3. It just looks way too good. If Tesla didn't make that color free, I would get that on my Model 3. Another thing I actually like from the Model Y is that you can see with this image right here, just the overall design of the Model Y looks so much sportier. It reminds me of the Mercedes GLE Coupe. It looks very similar to that car, and honestly speaking, I love when I see that car in person because that car looks deadly. It looks like a beast, it looks massive, it looks fast, and the Model Y just reminds me of that and that sort of design because it also looks like a coupe or somewhat like a coupe, because all other SUVs, they pretty much have a flat and then they just dip down. Whereas a Model Y is sort of like a coupe shape like that, and that just gives it that sportier edge and obviously better aerodynamics. Yeah, here's a Model Y in white. I'm not sure if I'd go for white. Personally, if I get a Model Y, I'd get the black wheels and black paint, and because it's chrome delete, black interior, everything, all black, everything. Black, by the way, I'm wearing black, is one of my favorite colors, so that's probably what I would get. And then if I do get black, I might as well just wrap it and make it matte black. So I made a video a few days back talking about the size comparison of the Model Y relative to its competitors. I did talk about a GLC. Here is a Model Y next to a GLC. You can see that the size difference isn't really that great. Honestly speaking, look-wise, I think the Model Y looks so much better than the GLE. It looks way too good. So good, in fact, that I'd just take the Model Y any day of the year. Would I get a Model 3 or would I get a Model Y? My personal opinion would be if you need the storage space, go for a Model Y. What I would actually suggest is maybe like test drive a Model 3 and actually rent one out for a couple days and actually see how that fits in your lifestyle, if you need space or not. If you don't care about space, if you can live with all the less space and just like a lower ride height and whatnot, go for a Model 3. Obviously, it's just as good. So that's been it. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed this one. Obviously, there are going to be so many more videos coming up from pretty much every YouTuber talking about the Model Y. Today, tomorrow, this weekend, whatever, and it's just gonna be incredible at the rate of news that everyone's gonna get. By the way, I do think the Model Y is gonna be more successful than the Model 3 just because it caters to a bigger market than the Model 3 catered to. But anyways, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed this one. If you like seeing Model Y content, please subscribe. I'll post more, and you know, comment down below what you think. Would you get a Model Y or a Model 3? I don't know. And what color would you get? What configuration? Because I'm still deciding. I do like the white in a Model 3, but I also want to wrap it. And for wraps, it's better to get a dark color like gray, but I don't want to spend money, so black. I don't know. Let me know in the comments down below, and I'll probably make a video about configuring my Model 3 whenever I get it, probably in the next 10 years. Within the next 10 years, I hope. So yeah, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed this one. I'll see you tomorrow, hopefully. Maybe. Peace.